are happy to bring to you this year's seminar online. For those of you who were with us last year, at about December, we organized the same thing, but at the University of Ghana campus. Today's one is going to be a rather virtual one because of the obvious COVID-19 pandemic we are experiencing. I hope you can all hear me. So for those of you who are able to hear me, please type yes in the chat area so that we can confirm that the sound is live at your end. So if you're able to hear us, kindly type yes so we can be able to confirm you can hear us. Thank you very much, Michael Hodo. Thank you, Ernestina, for confirming that you can hear us. We'd like to begin our program with an official welcome from the General Manager of Axis Pension Trust to come and also not just welcome us, but also give us the purpose for our meeting here this morning. And so without much ado, I would like to invite Pa Kofi Ankoma, the General Manager here at Axis Pension Trust. Pa Kofi.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Jeff, for the opportunity. On behalf of the board and management of Axis Pension Trust, I am honored to welcome you to the second edition of the Axis Pre-Retirement Seminar. This event has come to stay on our calendar as a business, and I'm very confident it is in line with our mission to empower the Ghanaian worker to retire with dignity. Indeed, it's our aim to empower you to become the Axis Retiree, distinguished in every aspect from any other retiree out there. As has become the new norm, this year's pre-retirement seminar is a new experience for a lot of us, being a virtual event. We believe our commitment to empowering you to retire in dignity cannot and should not be impeded by even the harshest of conditions, including COVID-19. So despite the reasons why this event should not have come on, we have prevailed and are happy to have you participate in this one-of-a-kind event. Your commitment to retirement in dignity inspires us to do more, and we assure you we will continue to do more to make sure you retire in dignity. 2020 marked the 10th anniversary of the implementation of the National Pensions Act, Act 766. This meant the first batch of members from the various pension and provident fund schemes that we administer and are trustees for were expected to proceed on mandatory retirement within this year. At the beginning of the year, we were expected to pay retirement benefits for 1,854 members of 106 employers from 29 different schemes. As of July 2020, 31st July 2020, I'm happy to announce that we have successfully processed and paid out 21.9 million for 764 retirees from 26 schemes, made up of 78 employers. The highest amount we've paid so far sits at 600,000 Ghana cedis. We are indeed privileged to have served these retirees and are optimistic they are already enjoying the first few months of their retirement. In 2021, however, we expect to pay out retirement benefits to an additional 1,200 members. We want to assure you, as you approach retirement, that we are confident of your retirement prospects and will speedily ensure your benefits are processed and paid on time. This, we believe, is very fundamental to the objective of the National Pensions Act, which states that we should ensure that every worker receives retirement and related benefits as and when due. It is of utmost concern to us to see you enjoy your retirement. Hence, we will continue to provide you all necessary avenues to ensure your retirement income is not depleted within the shortest possible time. For this reason, the Axis Retirement Annuity Plan, which converts your lump sum into regular streams of income, was introduced 3 years ago. And I am very pleased to inform you of the success of this product since its introduction 3 years ago. It is a very convenient option to help you manage your retirement income to last your retirement. And this will be touched on further by my colleague during one of the sessions. The successes chalked so far has not come without its own challenges. COVID-19 and its consequent effects on our lives, including the observation of social distancing protocols and lockdown, was a welcome challenge for Axis. The saying, "Don't waste a crisis," was very true as we took advantage of the new norm to bring our range of digital services and engagement closer to you. The introduction of our beneficiary feature updates on our online portal meant members could now update their beneficiaries. They would not need to come to our offices to engage us, but they could do it online at the convenience. At the convenience of their mobile phones and computers. The launch of our USSD platform, that's star 1860 hash, to complement our WhatsApp chatbot, Afrakoma, to ensure that no matter what type of mobile device you have, and even without a computer, you can access our range of services wherever you find yourself. Our virtual annual general meetings for our master trust schemes and our personal pension schemes also gave us an opportunity to, even amidst the COVID-19, to interact with our clients to understand what they need and learn from them. We must say we continue to learn and welcome feedback to further improve our services. In this year's pre-retirement seminar, we have assembled experienced and well-resourced experts in their fields to discuss various topics that will address your retirement needs, from health, what to expect at retirement, accessing your benefits from the various schemes, and how to make your retirement income last you longer. I am confident, and I have to say I am very confident, that at the end of the program, you will be empowered for a dignified retirement. We continue to be your reliable partner in pensions. And once again, on behalf of the board and management of Axis Pensions, we thank you for participating in this all-important event, and we hope you have a fruitful session. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pakofi. So, as we have heard the purpose for our gathering here this morning, we are happy to have all of you join us in this virtual seminar. We'd like to go straight to our program outline for this morning. I'd like to encourage you to put down your notes and questions if you do, so that after the presentations, if you have any question, we will be able to answer them. We will be answering your questions in two forms. We'll either answer you online in the chat box area, or we would address it here live by our presenters. And so I encourage you to listen keenly to the various presentations that will be coming up, so you're able to put any question that you would have for the presenters to answer it for you. We will have a presentation on how to assess your retirement benefit, a presentation on how to manage your retirement benefit to last you a lifetime, and what to expect during retirement, a presentation on health as you go on retirement. And so these are all the topics that we'll be discussing, as well as any other question that you would have for us to answer. Again, I encourage you very much to put down any questions that you have in order that our presenters would answer them at the right time. On this note, ladies and gentlemen, we will start with our very first presentation, and this will be done by the head of corporate client relations. The presentation is going to be on assessing your retirement benefits. I'm happy to introduce to you, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Emmanuel Intre to take us through this presentation. Mr. Intre, please take it away.
Yes, good morning to everyone, and God bless all of you for your various efforts and contributions in your various field of endeavors. I am honored to present to you on assessing my retirement benefits. To begin with, under the three-tier pension scheme, that's the National Pensions Act 2008, Act 766, a retiree is expected to receive benefits basically from three pots, that is from Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3. Now, Tier 1 and Tier 2 are mandatory schemes and Tier 3 is a voluntary scheme. Tier 1 is managed by SNIT, and Tier 2 and Tier 3 is managed by a licensed trustee. In this case, that's Axis Pension Trust. Tier 1 is a defined benefit scheme, which basically means that the benefits to be paid to a retiree is based on a formula. In my subsequent presentations, we will go through the SNIT calculator or the computation. Now, Tier 2 and Tier 3 is a defined contribution scheme, i.e. the benefit to be paid to a member is the total amount of contributions made plus the investment income accrued on the said contributions. That summed up will be paid to the retiree. Now, Tier 1 will pay monthly pensions and also past credit in the form of a lump sum, and Tier 2 and Tier 3 will pay lump sum benefits. Usually, when retirees are assessing their pension benefits, they encounter quite a number of challenges. Some of the issues they face is as a result of lack of knowledge on how to begin processing their pension benefits. It might also be as a result of incomplete and missing records, lack of information on assessing benefits. So basically, the question of which kind of form do I complete, where do I start my assessing my benefits, who do I speak to, which institution do I go to? All these things sometimes even leads to delayed submission of retirement applications. So it is my hope that at the end of this session, retirees, members who are approaching retirement will be well informed in order to assess their retirement benefits without challenges. Now we'll quickly zoom into the individual pots that I mentioned earlier, under the Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. We'll start with Tier 1, which is managed by SNIT, and the qualifying conditions for one to assess the SNIT benefit is to proceed on mandatory retirement at 60 years or voluntary retirement from 55 to 59 years. In the event of death, your benefits will be processed and paid to your nominated beneficiaries. Also, in the event of medical incapacitation and permanent immigration from Ghana as a foreigner. Now, for a member to qualify to receive pensions, again, must contribute for at least 180 months or 15 years in aggregate to the SNIT scheme. Now, the number of years contributed is converted to what we call points, and this point is known as pension right. So pension right is basically the point you build based on the number of months or years you have contributed towards the SNIT scheme. Now, if you do the minimum contribution period of 15 years, you receive a pension right of 37.50%. Any additional contribution year gives you an additional pension right of 1.125%, which brings to a maximum pension right one can receive to 60%. So if you do 55 contribution period, 55 and above contribution period, you receive 60% pension right. Now, it is important to also note that the age at which you decide to go on retirement will also have an impact on the amount of pensions you will receive from SNIT. If you decide to trigger the voluntary retirement qualifying conditions, SNIT will then apply what we call the age reduction factor, which means that the amount you receive from SNIT will be reduced. So if you decide to go 55 years voluntary retirement, you receive 60% of your full pension. 56 years, you receive 67.5%. 57 years, you receive 75%. 58 years, you receive 82.5%. And at age 59 years, you receive 90%. So we have to bear in mind that the age at which we decide to go on retirement has an impact on the amount of pensions we receive. Now, beyond the monthly pensions we receive from SNIT, SNIT will also pay what we call past credit. And this past credit is basically the contributions that members have made prior to the commencement of the 3-tier pension scheme. So which means that the contributions you have made up to 31st December 2009, the past credits basically constitute 4% of the contributor's basic salary and accumulated interest. And this payment will be done in the form of lump sum. So SNIT will give you monthly pensions in addition to past credits in the form of lump sum. Now let's look at the SNIT calculator. So this is a similar simulation or calculation that SNIT does in arriving at pensions to be paid to members. Now the payment advice we have before us is for Kwesi Mensah, and we have two scenarios where Kwesi Mensah would decide to go on voluntary retirement at age 55 years or decide to go on voluntary retirement at age 60 years. The pensionable month, that's the number of months contributed to SNIT prior to the retirement for each of the scenario is 360 months. The terminal salary is 1,500 each. SNIT would then compute the average 3 years best salary. For both scenarios is 16,260 Ghana cedis. Then the pension right I indicated, SNIT will convert your pensionable month, to your pension right. Now, ideally, the pension right should be the same for both scenarios because the pensionable right is 360 months each. But because the Kwesi Mensah for scenario 1, which is voluntary retirement at 55 years, SNIT would trigger the application of the age reduction factor, which means that the pension right for the retirement at age 55 will reduce to 33%, and for 60 years is 54%, which by extension will lead to a reduction in the SNIT pension to be paid to the scenario for voluntary retirement, which comes to about 442 Ghana cedis, and for mandatory retirement, which the member of Kwesi Mensah will receive 100% of the full pension, comes to 736 Ghana cedis. And the income replacement ratio for retirement at age 55 will come to 29.47%, and for age 60 will come to 49.12%. Then again, we can see the impact of the decision taken as far as the age at which you retire will affect your monthly pensions. At age 60, you are receiving 736 Ghana cedis, but voluntary retirement 55 reduces the amount of pensions to receive. So I humbly advise that if you are not really ready and prepared for pensions or for retirement, I will advise that you wait. Do not trigger when voluntary retirement sets in, but wait till 60 years before you apply for pension so you don't receive reduced pensions. Now, in assessing your SNIT benefit, you have to contact the nearest SNIT branch. You do not have to necessarily go to the branch in which you registered initially to be a member of SNIT. So any SNIT branch close to you, you go there with your smart card or biometric card, a letter of retirement from your employer, which is not mandatory anyway. You can attach that to the biometric card. Now, the SNIT branch will provide you with a pension application form. You complete the form and submit the form to the SNIT branch. You have to also make sure that you provide an active bank account details. And the bank account details should also bear your name and also provide evidence of the bank account details. SNIT will then advise you to collect your monthly pensions at your bank. So this is basically the process you go through when assessing SNIT benefits. We will move on to assessing the Tier 2 and Tier 3 benefits. For Tier 2 and Tier 3 benefits, you complete an Axis withdrawal form with your HR or designated account officer. In the event where you want to transfer your funds, i.e. purchase an annuity, which will be part of our next presentation, you then complete a transfer form. So we transfer your funds into the annuity account. Now, upon completion, your employer will also endorse your completed form scan and send to Axis Pension for processing. Axis Pension will process and instruct the custody bank to make payment. Beneficiary account will subsequently be credited. For the master trust schemes, crediting of accounts or processing of benefits is done within 5 days. And for the standalone scheme, processing of benefits is done within 30 days. Again, you must ensure that the bank account details you provide on your withdrawal form or redemption form is correct and accurate, and it also bears your name to avoid any undue delays. I will also advise that even as you prepare towards retirement, as often as possible, you engage the various institutions responsible for the payment of the benefit, i.e. the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. If you have any questions, engage them. More especially, you have to also constantly monitor and review your bank statement to ensure that there are no gaps, there are no missing months in your statement, because all these things can cause delays. For Axis, you can reach us on our various online channels, either via the online portal, the USSD code *1860# You can also download the Axis mobile app on the Google Play Store or on the App Store. You can also chat with us on WhatsApp Afrakuma on 0261 860 000. You can also give us a call on 0302 738 555 or 0544 321 966. You can equally send us an email at aptl@axispension.com. aptl@axispension.com. It is very, very important you engage the designated institutions mandated to pay your benefit to ensure that your records are up to date to avoid any challenges. On this note, I'll bring my presentation to an end. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for the presentation. I very much encourage our participants to try as much as possible to put up any question that you may have on Mr. Emmanuel Intre's presentation. A few highlights of it I will just share with you. He said that if you have the option of going on early retirement, you should not take that option because it will affect you in the long run when we are computing your retirement benefits. If there are any other enquiries or clarities that you also need from Mr. Intre, I would encourage you to type out your question in the chat area in order that he is able to address them during the Q&A session. I'm happy at this point to invite the next presenter for our seminar. She will be speaking on the issue of how to manage your retirement benefit to last you your entire retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, she is a financial planner at Axis Pension Trust, and I'm happy to invite Mimi Anane Apia to help us with the presentation on how to manage your retirement benefit to last you your retirement lifestyle. Mimi, if you can hear me, kindly start your presentation on this topic. Thank you.
Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you can all hear me.
Yes, Mimi, we can hear you. We can see you too.
Okay, sure. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great privilege to be speaking to you today, and we are going to be talking on how to manage your retirement benefits to last you your retirement. I'm sure all of us know 2 or more people who are struggling during their retirement. and for most of these people is due to financial issues. A lot of retirees run out of money early in their retirement, and today we want to tackle how you can avoid this phenomenon from happening so that you don't become a burden on your loved ones. But before we delve into the topic for today, I just want us to take a while to assess our retirement readiness. And you can do so by asking yourself these questions. You can put your response in a notebook that you can later reflect on. Okay, so the first question is, what are your retirement goals? What are your retirement goals? Secondly, how much have you accumulated in your retirement fund? And your statement should be able to help you with this answer. Thirdly, how can you make your retirement savings last? Last but not the least, how do I stay on track to achieve my retirement goals? So these are very deep questions you have to sit down and ask yourself to help you plan adequately towards your retirement. At Axis, we have financial advisors who can help you answer these questions adequately, and we also have tools available. So kindly reach us if you find it difficult answering these questions. Kindly reach us and we'll be very glad to help you answer these questions so that you can enjoy the comfortable retirement that you dream of. So when it comes to our retirement, a lot of us are expecting retirement income to come from various sources. For most of us, we are looking to our tier 1, which is the Smith Emmanuel mentioned. That's your monthly pensions and your past credit. We are also looking to our tier 2 to provide us with a lump sum when we retire. The tier 3, if you are advantaged and you have a provident fund, that also provides you with a lump sum. The personal pension also under the tier 3. The first one is the provident fund, which provides you with a lump sum. The personal pension also provides you with a lump sum. Mind you, we also have other sources of retirement income. For some of you, you may have other investments like treasury bills, mutual funds, shares in other places. Those are also sources of retirement income. If you have any property that is occupied, that you are renting out, that provides you with rental income. If you have a business that is already providing you with some income, by the time you retire, that will also give you some income. Some of us are also looking to our children to give us something when we retire. At Axis, we encourage our retirees to be independent. So as much as possible, we don't encourage you to use this to make this your plan. Rather, if your children bring to you, fine, that becomes an addition. But you should plan in such a way that you can be self-sufficient. Okay. So when it comes to our pensions, there are some things that we should consider or we should take into consideration when it comes to how much will be enough for us. Two things we should take into consideration is longevity and our desired retirement. That will determine, okay, how much will be enough to ensure that I can maintain this comfortable lifestyle I dream of throughout my retirement. When we talk about longevity, figures that we can take into consideration is the life expectancy. So I'll make reference to the global life expectancy and the life expectancy in Ghana. Globally, life expectancy is 72 years, 72.5 years, and in Ghana is 63.5 years. That means that as a Ghanaian, you should be expecting to live up to 63.5 years. But don't lose hope. If you are 60, you are not going to be dying anytime soon, because once you hit 60, for a male, you are expected to live 16.6 years more, and for a female, 18.2 years more. This is age-specific life expectancy. So the question you should ask yourself is, are you going to be able to maintain your lifestyle throughout these years when you retire? Now, how does life expectancy affect how much you need for your retirement? Let's take Mr. Kwesi Mensah into consideration. Mr. Kwesi Mensah is 59 years and he hopes to retire at the age of 60. Now he hopes to retire taking 46,000 Ghana, 600 Ghana cedis on an annual basis, and he thinks that inflation rates would be about 10%, will average around 10%. If Mr. Kwesi Mensah should live just 5 years, that is till 65, he needs just 378,000 to be okay, to maintain that lifestyle that he dreams of. However, if he should live 20 years, he needs 3.5 million throughout his retirement to be able to maintain that lifestyle. It means the longer you live, the more you need. So while we are praying to God to bless us with long life, the question is, how are we going to maintain the life that he blesses us with? Another thing we should be looking at is our desired retirement lifestyle. According to financial experts, we say that 70 to 80% of your pre-retirement income should be enough for you when you retire. That means if you are earning 1,000 Ghana cedis right now, 700 to 800 Ghana cedis should be enough for you when you retire. However, this may differ from person to person, dependent on your own independent circumstances. Another way to look at your desired lifestyle is to look at a budget, your retirement budget. And the budget I have put on the screen today gives you an idea how to budget. We have that of a renter and one who owns his own house. Now, for the person who is renting, he needs 3,300 to be able to maintain this lifestyle. The person who has his own house needs 2,750 to maintain this lifestyle. Now, Mr. Interest taught us how to calculate our pension. For this person, he's taking home 1,920 as his monthly income. But we realize that for the renter, he needs 3,300, and for the one who owns his own house, he needs 2,700. So we see that there is a shortfall of 1,400 for the renter and 830 Ghana cedis for the one who owns his own home. The question is, how are you going to be able to bridge that gap? If you have an investment, or let me say a lump sum of 122,000, and that you are investing in an annuity product, that will be able to give you the 1,400. Or for the person who has his own house, he just needs about 71,000 to be able to make up for that gap. We'll talk more about that in later slides. Another thing you can do is look at your budget once again. If you don't have money to bridge the gap, what else can you do? You need to cut down your expenses. So when we take our budget, we realize that we can categorize our expenses into essential and discretionary items. For our essential items, we have things like food, rent, transport, healthcare costs, utility bills, etc. These are things that you can't do without. They are things that you need to survive. For our discretionary items, we have entertainment, travel, recreation, charitable giving, luxury purchases, capital expenditure like buying a new car, etc. These are things that you can do without. You wouldn't die if you don't buy yourself a new car, or if you don't go to Uncle Lebo White's place. So these are things that you can do without. So when looking at your budget, you need to cut down on your discretionary expenses to the barest minimum and make sure that there is enough to meet your essentials. Okay, but let's assume that you have a lump sum, and all of us, as long as you are contributing to your tier 2, should have a lump sum. So let's take another scenario. Let's assume that this person wants to retire. Let's call him Mr. A, wants to retire at the age of 60. He's expecting to live till 75, just 15 years. His income replacement goal is 100%. That means that whatever he was earning before retirement, he expects to earn the same. He doesn't want to leave his children with anything. So his basic salary now is 2,000 Ghana cedis because he's just about 26 years old. And so it will grow as the years go by. he's contributing only to his tier 2. He doesn't have a provident fund, so that's just 5% for his DC pension. He's expecting inflation to average around 9% over the years. We can see other factors like his salary growth rate, the expected rate of return on his annuity, the expected rate of return on his interest. So what Mr. A is going to do here is that when he gets the lump sum, instead of spending it on a building project or some car he wants or a new house or one thing or the other, he decides to put it in an annuity to close the gap. So let's assume Mr. A contributed to SNP and Tier 2 only for 15 years. For 15 years, SNP will replace his income only by 38%. And if he should put his Tier 2 into an annuity plan, that will replace his income by 7%. So when you add the two, he's going to replace his income by 45%. Let's assume the same person is able to work for 35 years. You realize that SNP is going to replace his income by 60%, and putting his Tier 2 into an annuity plan is going to replace his income by an extra 26%, bringing it to 86%, which is getting closer to his goal. This basically means that we should start our contributions early, and we should be consistent with our contributions. But it also means that lump sums are not meant to be spent as they came, as a lump sum, but it's meant to be able to generate income for you to make sure that you are able to meet whatever income goals you have for your retirement. So as you retire and you receive your lump sum, have this in mind, that this is a source of income that you can draw regular stream of income to close up that income gap. So what is an annuity? An annuity basically is a financial product that pays you out a fixed stream of payments to an individual. In Axis, we call ours the Axis Retirement Annuity Plan. It's basically a plan that pays you out something on a regular basis. It could be a monthly, quarterly, annually sum. What you do is that you convert your lump sum that you may be receiving from your pension funds, be it your Tier 2, your provident fund, any other investments you have, into an annuity plan so that it can pay you something on a regular basis. The annuity is very helpful when it comes to closing the retirement income gap. Also, if you want your money to last you through your retirement, the annuity is a perfect place because it ensures that you don't outlive your retirement, your savings. Because in Axis, we don't just sign you up, we help you make the best decision to ensure that your money lasts you your lifetime. So let's look at how annuity works. And we are using historical returns to give you an idea of how your money can grow, as well as how you can draw an income from your annuity. So let's take Mr. Mensah into consideration, the one who was renting. We realized that he needs 122,000 to be able to make up for his income gap. Now, if Mr. Mensah buys an annuity, every month he's going to be receiving 1,430, as we indicated earlier. Now, for 2015, the Axis pension plan did 25.71%. So even though we are paying Mr. Mensah our 1,430, which represents 14%, realize that the extra interest of 9.71% goes to grow his lump sum. So instead of him having 122 at the end of the period, that's at the end of 2015, he has 136,000. So not only is he drawing an income, but his lump sum is growing for him. In 2016, that becomes his beginning balance. If he wants to, he can decide to increase his drawdown from his annuity, but he decides to keep it at the same amount, which is the 1,430. Realize that in 2016, the Axis pension plan did 23.94%, That means the excess interest goes to grow the 136,000 to 152,000. So that is how it goes on. So you realize that even though he's taking from his annuity on a monthly basis, his retirement or his lump sum is still growing for him. And that is what we desire for each and every one of you, so that you are able to not only grow your lump sum, but also close that income gap. If you also think that you want to adjust the income you are receiving, that is a choice you also have. When it comes to the annuity plan, you need a minimum of 50,000 Ghana cedis to join the Axis Retirement Annuity Plan. If you don't have 50,000 now, the great news is that for most of us, we are yet to go on retirement. So you can start contributing something in the Axis Pension Plan so that you are able to meet the minimum requirement once you retire. What happens when you retire is you speak to any of our financial advisors. In Axis, we don't give every retiree the same solution. No, we discuss with you so that we can tailor make something that is suitable for your situation. So you speak to our retirement or financial advisors, and with the right tools, we are able to help you determine how much you would need to enjoy a comfortable retirement. But I also encourage you to also call our office to discuss with our financial advisors what you can do to ensure that retirement is comfortable. Retirement can be comfortable. It's just an issue of how you use your lump sum. So I encourage you all today to sign on to the Axis Pension Plan to make sure that you are drawing in an income to close your retirement income gap. Not only do that, but also grow your lump sum so that you can leave an inheritance for the next generation. Thank you so much. You can reach us on 0302 738 555 to talk to any of our financial advisors, or you can also reach us on 0544 321 966. 0544 321 966. You can also reach us on all the other platforms that my colleague Emmanuel Intre mentioned, the WhatsApp platform, as well as every platform.
Thank you very much, Mimi, for that wonderful presentation. I am sure we have all enjoyed your presentation. Just a few highlights on what Mimi has shared with us this morning. She has indicated that long life certainly would affect your retirement, and so the longer you are living, that means you are going to be spending more money when you go on retirement. She also mentioned that we have the Axis Annuity Plan, which is supposed to help you with regards to growing your retirement pension benefit and also drawing down some money whilst you're on retirement. I think the advice is that we do not spend all our money once we go on retirement and receive the lump sum. Thank you very much, Mimi, for the presentation. Again, I'd like to encourage all of you to be putting up any questions that you may have in order that our presenters can address them at the appropriate time. We encourage you to kindly put up any question or clarity that you may need on any of the presentations in order that our panelists can respond to it at the appropriate time. The next presentation, ladies and gentlemen, will be a presentation on what to expect when you go on retirement. For most of us, we do not have an idea, or we do have an idea, but it probably is not very well informed. And so this session is to help us get a fair idea on what to expect once we go on retirement. Ladies and gentlemen, to help us do this presentation is none other but a retiree himself, and not just a retiree, but the president of the national chairman of the National Pensioners Association. Please help me welcome to do the presentation on what to expect when you go on retirement, Mr. S.A. Sessi, to do this presentation. Mr. Sessi, if you can hear me, please go ahead and talk to us on what we should expect once we go on retirement. Thank you.
We want to be very grateful to the Almighty Lord to be able to work throughout to become a retiree. During the course of working, some are even dismissed in prison during the course of their working life. So you have to thank the Almighty Lord for guiding you through your working life to date. Realities of retirement. 1. You are no longer popular in your office. Avoid going to your former office without notice. It's absolutely necessary to inform an officer of your visit so that you can be well received. Yes, as I was saying, when I was about to go on retirement, I went to my former place of work just to say hello to a colleague. You know what happened? He just informed me that he will see me in 30 minutes time. Because I didn't inform him before going there, I waited over 2 hours and there was no calling, so I have to go out. That's why I'm saying, anytime you are going to your former office, do inform them in the office so that you will be well received. You must know very well too that not everyone like you whilst you were working and have now opportunity to snub you. Keep in touch with your course mates as you grow in retirement, because some pharaohs in Egypt may not know your Joseph. The Joseph in those days is no more there, so you must be very careful before going there. The attend celebration of courses is always a reunion with a lot of fun. Only a few people you assist, including family members, will come around to see you often. To others, you have nothing to offer. Plan your days and follow your plan. Sometimes when you look around yourself, you have a feeling of emptiness. Travel is great. Visit places of interest and enjoy your travels. Eat right, enjoy your meals, but cut down on excessive consumption of alcohol, sugar, salt, fat, and oils, and exercise them more. As I was saying, to me now, breathing is out. I don't drink again. I don't take sugar. Neither do I take much salt. And this is helping me a lot. Do your medical checkups even when you feel healthy. To conclude, nothing but the truth. Build your own houses where you will live in your old age. Start a business that will feed you in your old age. Right now, stand to be relevant in your church or places of worship and community so that you could be reckoned with your old age. Old age could be very lonely and agonizing for men who did not plan for it. May your children not wish you an early death as you advance in old age. An old age without a penny in your pocket is a slow, agonizing death sentence. After 50 years and above, you have 10 to 15 years of active working life, respect, friendship, and valued relationship. Thank you very much. And thank you.
Mr. Adamusa, if you can share your slides, your screen, and also activate your video, your webcam, so we can put a face to it. We'll also be happy if you can activate your microphone so we can also hear you whilst you speak. We can see your screen now, but we can't see your face or hear your voice. So kindly activate your microphone and also your webcam so we can put a face to the name.
All right. Axis wants us to retire in style. And to retire in style, health is one of the very important components that we have to look at so we can enjoy the toils of our labor. So healthy living in retirement, I chose to look at exercise today because it has benefits for all manner of systems of the body. And when we do exercise, we get benefits that we cannot even fathom that would be with exercise. So my name is Dr. Adanusa. I work at the University of Cape Coast Hospital. I'm training to look after old men and women, that is those who are 60 years and above. So that is my specialty. Thank you. So we go. So we'll just go through this, the outline of our presentation. And indeed, life begins at retirement. That is when you wake up, you don't have to get up and run to a school, get to school at 7:30 or run to work and get to work at 8 o'clock and report to somebody and all that. That is for those who are in some form of formal employment. But that is the time that you can get up and decide what you do. You can get up and decide to go and play golf or anything at your own planned time. That is when you can travel anywhere. So we have to enjoy our retirement. It is a lot of time, 15, 18, 20 years, could even be 40 years that you would have to enjoy. So what is aging? Aging, simply put, is a process. So we are all aging. From the day you are born, you start aging. It's a process that converts a young adult to an older adult. So young adults usually are averagely, they are healthy and we do not need doctors or physicians to assist them. But as we grow old, just like a vehicle, we develop some faults here and there. So we usually need a physician to help us to fix it. And when you are young, you are adaptable to so many situations. But as you are aging, you are not as adaptable. So simply put, it's just a process where we grow from childhood or adulthood, young adulthood, to old age. But there is usual aging and successful aging. So the usual aging is when the normal thing we see when people they are 60, they retire, and then they go downhill. Their kidneys will start giving them problems. Their sight, their hearing, immune system start giving them problem. Then they fall sick, and then they fall off. But successful aging, which we want everybody to age that way, that one describes a person who demonstrates very minimal physiologic decline from aging alone. That is, a person may be 70, but you see him and you think, oh, this person will be about 58. He hasn't declined so much from how he was before. And here, let's take note. Exercise that I'm going to talk about has been proven. Healthy diet, social and intellectual stimulation, and cessation of smoking are contributory to healthy aging. Our retiree association president spoke about it. He said he had stopped drinking alcohol. And that is wonderful. Smoking is a no-no, especially when you are getting old. And of course, he also advised us to maintain social interactions with our mates and with other people that we grew up with, especially with our family members also. So we are supposed to be doing that. When you do that, you age successfully. You'll be 60, you'll be 70, and you'll still be able to jog with the young men. You'll still be able to play tennis with the young men. So successful aging, you want to avoid as much as possible disease and disability. One, by screening yourself when you are growing. There are some screening tests that you have to do. For men, our prostate, when you're above 40, has to be regular. For women, our breast and our cervix, we have to be checking it regularly. By doing that, we are avoiding the disease, because if it is there, it is realized early and taken out. For both sexes, cancer of the colon, you want to be checking. Also disease, cholesterol, your BP, diabetes, we have to be checking these things regularly, so that even if it is there, it is seen early and then it is taken care of so that it doesn't become a burden onto you. And engagement with life. You have to engage with life. You have to live life. You don't have to just go and sit down and that is all. You have to take yourself to life. Take yourself and then say, I am living. You are retired, but you are not finished. You have a lot to give. Your churches, your community, your everything, you have a lot to give. And then also high cognitive and physical function. Cognitive means the use of your mental faculties. You should be reading. When you read, you don't age. You don't age so quickly. You should be reading something that will stimulate you. Those who are mathematically inclined and those, you have to get a lot of things into your brain. Because if you stop using your brain, the cells start dying one by one and it declines and then you age so fast. And of course, physical function that we'll be talking about today. So the world is aging. This is all numbers for us. In a few years to come, we'll have close to about 25% of the world's population being those above 65. This is for the world. I mean, according to the CIA, the average world life expectancy is 70.5 years. That is, those who are born today are expected to live 70.5 years. But for you and I who have been born already, we have age-specific life expectancy, which Mimi showed. So if you are 60 today, for a man, you'll be living 16 years and more. If you are 18 today, on the average for a woman, you'll be living about 8. If you are 60 years today and as a woman, you'll be living up on the average 18 years. That 18 years may be more. So we have a lot of years to enjoy with, and we have to make it count. As we age, just focus on the ones in red, our risk of cancer increases. Our joints start to become weaker and become more painful. Our muscles become smaller. So the suit that you used to wear when you were 50 and it fits so well, when you wear it at 70, it looks big on you. It is as a result of aging. As we age, we get hypertension. Most people who are aging, their blood pressure will go up, so they can get hypertension. As we age, our kidneys, the function of our kidneys also go down. As we age, we are prone to getting pneumonia and other infections. As we age, constipation becomes one of the issues. Thereby, we ought to eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. Very important. Every meal you eat has to have some fruit and vegetables. So there has to be 3 portions of fruits and vegetables you eat every day. So just taking that you eat breakfast, lunch, and supper, there should be some fruits or vegetable in it. So 3 times in a day you have to eat a fruit or a vegetable. As we age, diabetes comes in, fractures and all that also come in. We've talked about cancers and especially our brain, cognitive, the ability of us to solve problems, the ability of us to sustain conversation, the ability of us to remember and to engage our environment, cognitive impairment. So you hear that, oh, he's grown old, so now he's become like a child because he's not thinking right. What he says is children who would say that. That ability, that thing also comes in with aging. But we can slow it down. We can slow it down with a lot of cognitive activity, engaging your brain with reading and problem solving and exercise as well. Exercise is improving to help this. As we age, our sight, that is our sight, hearing, our taste goes down, our sense of smell even goes down. And as we age, we become a bit unstable. So if an old man is climbing a trotro, it's very different from how a 20-year-old young man would do that. And the old men and women are prone to falling more than the young men just because of instability. So what is physical activity? Physical activity is any movement of the body that is produced by skeletal muscles that causes energy expenditure. So when you move your arm or you even wave, That is a form of physical activity. The muscles are working and you are using energy. How do we differentiate it from exercise? Exercise, the technical is a planned. You plan it that I am going to exercise, and it's structured. You know that you are going to do A, B, and C, and you do repetitive body movements. That is, if you are raising your hand, maybe you raise your hand about 15 times, and you do it specifically to improve how fit you are. But some people may say, oh, me, I don't want to exercise. Don't worry. You can do physical activity. If you don't want to go with a crowd, or you don't want to go with your whole family to do exercise on a daily basis, there are a lot of physical activities that you can engage in as an individual, although we encourage exercise as well. So can the elderly exercise? Oh, we are 60. We don't want to go and exercise and then something will happen to us. Yes, it's a big yes. The elderly, those above 60 and more, can exercise. And there is no barrier to their exercise. They respond as just like young people. They retain the capacity to respond and to resist training, just like young people do. So you can exercise. You shouldn't have any fear of exercise. If you are an old person and you are even a bit frail, your reserves are a bit low, you can get a lot of improvement even with little exercise. With little exercise. So even old persons, I know a 67-year-old man who does he does about 10 kilometers of jogging every Saturday morning. Even we young men, we don't do that. But that is wonderful. 67, he doesn't look his age. Very fit and trim. So why am I going ranting on and on and on about exercise? So these are some of the benefits. To the heart and the blood vessels, you reduce your incidence of heart diseases and hypertension, high blood pressure. Remember, when you have high blood pressure and you come to the hospital, we tell you that you have to exercise. Exercise and exercise. When you exercise, it improves the BP and it comes down. When you exercise, you are able to reduce the glucose in your blood. So if you are diabetic, it becomes controlled very well. If you have cholesterol, you burn that fat and then you become more healthy. If you exercise, you know, when you exercise, especially at the high intensity, it gets to a time you cannot even talk, say a sentence or something. Yes, you improve your endurance so that your immune system is boosted up. You don't have pneumonia frequently when you exercise. And this is a big one I'm always interested in, the brain. You improve your ability to use the brain. You don't deteriorate that fast. You improve it. If you don't exercise, you will just go downhill. And this one is on my heart, because a lot of times you see people, and now it's becoming fashion, that people go and leave their old men and women in homes because there's nobody to take care of you. But if your brain is working well and you are not getting lost, you don't have dementia, chances are you can take care of yourself in your own home instead of being put somewhere where you have to live or you have to endure life with other people that you've never known in your life. Bones, joints, and muscle. It strengthens your balance and reduces falls. People, falls in the elderly is not a good thing. When you fall, chances are you become bedridden, then bed sores or bed ulcers come in, and then infections come in, and the quality of life is so low. We don't want any elderly person falling. And when you exercise, you reduce your chances of falling because then you become more stable and balanced. Immunity. When you exercise, you are able to fight infections. Cancers, you reduce the incidence of some cancers. One of them is colon cancer. This is important because this cancer comes and we do not see it until it is advanced. And exercise to some extent, about 30%, you reduce that incident. Constipation. So the elderly, typically they will come and tell you, oh, for the past 5 days I've not been able to move my bowels and all that. when you exercise, you don't only exercise your muscles, the intestines also move. They get to move faster, and then you're able to move your bowels well. We've talked about pulse already, mood and sleep. When you exercise, you feel happy. Even now when you go, there is a mass exercise. Oh, let's move to the right and to the left, and there's some music in the background. You come back happy. It improves your mood. So it reduces your incidence of depression. Like the previous speaker said, you go to the office and it's a cold attitude. A cold attitude. But then with exercise, you wouldn't let that depress you. When you have your own music playing and you are going with the rhythm and you are flowing, you are exercising, your mood cannot be low. And when you exercise, of course, you get tired and you are able to sleep. Sleep is one of the things about elderly people that, oh, I cannot sleep. When I sleep, I get up around 3 and I can't sleep again. Or I only want to fall asleep when it's about 6 a.m. When you exercise, you are able to get a deep and good sleep that refreshes you for the next day. So just this is a pictorial representation of the benefits of exercise. Dementia, as I spoke about, fractures, falls and fractures, depression, breast cancer, colon cancer, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, that is hypertension and all those, and then all-cause mortality. So all-cause mortality means dying from any other cause. When you exercise, you reduce by 30% your chance of dying from any other disease. So people, if we do not do anything at all, we can exercise to improve our longevity. So this is still the benefits of exercise broken into 4. Yeah, so somebody may ask, how may I exercise? Yes, you can walk. Walking, everybody can walk. So we should walk. And walking is not walking like doing a catwalk. It has to be brisk. Brisk walking. Fast walking. There are stairs, there are slopes, we are climbing up a hill. That is a form of exercise. You move such that your heart begins to pound so fast you start sweating. That is a form of physical activity and exercise. Participation in sports or recreational activities. My grand uncle was about 75 and he was doing tennis. He was playing tennis still at that age. And he would play with younger colleagues and he was doing well. So that is also very good. Also chores. Our mothers, they do so well in this. I'm not too sure about our fathers. But we can also get into the groove of doing that. When you do that, you are spending energy. The food that you ate, the Milo you drank, the tea you drank, and the sugar you took in, it has to be spent. If you don't spend it, you become obese. And then hypertension comes in, obesity, diabetes comes in, cholesterol comes in. You have to give all your money to the health facilities. Gardening. You have a small backyard gardening. You can weed, you can water, you can prune, you can just dress your garden as a form of physical activity, and that also counts. So exercise is so important in preventing cancer that the American Cancer Society gave guidelines on nutrition and physical activity for cancer prevention in 2012, and they list some of the things we do. So I've spoken about exercise and leisure, I've spoken about sports, home activities, and occupational activity. I know not all of us will just go and sit home after 60. Some of us will be running our own businesses. So as we run your own private business, you will move. And that also is a form of exercise. People, whatever you do, you have to just keep moving. You have to just keep moving your body. You have to just keep going. Don't sit. Sitting has been compared to smoking. Now, the new smoking is sitting. Sitting, not doing anything. So you are sitting in a chair from morning till midday, and then they call you to go and eat, and then you come back and sit, read newspapers. No. Or now the phones have come. Check on all the social media platforms. You are killing yourself slowly. That is like just smoking. So, this study was done by the WHO in 2010. It looked at individuals who are 50 years and above, and the chronic conditions that affect such individuals. On top of it, you have hypertension being 14.2, and then you have arthritis, that's the joints, so your knees, your waist, and all that. You have stroke representing there. There is depression there. So let's take depression seriously. There's cataract, there, asthma, diabetes, and angina. Angina is a mild form of heart attack. Diabetes is there. But you know, we spoke about exercise, that it reduces the incidence of hypertension, depression. It reduces the incidence of lung diseases, diabetes. And when you reduce diabetes and hypertension, definitely you are reducing stroke. And then arthritis, because when you move, you become more stable and your joints become stronger. And these are the things that kill our older adults. One is heart disease. Heart disease. The other is cancer. And then the next is stroke. And exercise is taking some burden off us without medicines even. Exercise is helping us to stay stronger with our heart. Exercise is helping us to ward off some cancers. Exercise is helping us to reduce our incidence of stroke, so we can live longer and enjoy all the benefits that Mimi was talking about. So how much exercise should we do? So the moderate intensity exercise. You can do the brisk walking about 30 minutes a day, and you can do it for about 5 days in a week. So you do about 150 minutes or to 300 minutes a week. That is okay. Or if you are the very sporty type, you do 20 to 30 minutes of the vigorous intensity a day, such that you do this for about 3 to 4 times in a week to get about 150 minutes maximum in that week. Or you can combine the two. You do half of this, half of that. You can also perform strengthening activities. That is, you are raising your arm maybe against some resistance. You see, the young men lift dumbbells and all those things. It shouldn't be necessarily dumbbells. You could be raising some things in your room. That strengthens your arm. If we do not use our arm, studies have proven that if we do not use our muscles, if you lie down, not doing anything for a week, you reduce how big your muscles are by 1% each day, and reduce how strong you are by 4% each day. When we read that some months ago, some years ago, that this is what happens, nobody should tell us that we should not keep stationary. We should just keep moving. And flexibility exercises, you stretch. So you stand on one side, and then you stretch all the way, your hand all the way down, or your hand all the way to the side. You go to the back, you come to the front. All these help us to be able to condition our joints and our muscles so we stay healthy. So these are just a pictorial view of what we can be doing. Walking, gardening, hiking, dancing. Dancing is good. Let us dance. Our mothers do a lot of dancing when they go to church. But our fathers, because of cultural and customary things, we usually are very stiff when we go. Let us dance. Let us be flexible. Cycling is good. There are 60-something-year-old people who play soccer. I have a few of them in UCC hospital, and I admire them. Swimming, if you know how to swim, you can do swimming, and that is good exercise. Yeah, so those of us who fall, like they are falling once before or twice before, so I'm scared to do exercise. You can start slowly. If you start, somebody has to be there to be with you. You can start by putting your 2 legs together, then one leg in front, one leg at the back. Then you stand one leg only, on one leg only. You are trying to pick up your balance again. And then sometimes you have to stand with your eyes closed, just so that you build your stability. Because when you fall, chances are you do not want to walk again, or to jog again, or to do anything again. But you've fallen once before. Once the cause of the fall has been seen and dealt with, you have to come back to some level of physical activity. Else, then you will deteriorate so fast. Yeah, so for some of us, maybe we haven't engaged in exercise for a long while or organized exercise for a longer. When you start, sometimes we get a bit greedy. We want to do 1 hour at a go because we've learned about the benefits of exercise. No, that is not how to go about it. You go it slowly, you take it slowly. So 5 minutes on the first day maybe. Second day you do 10 minutes. You sustain the 10 minutes over 3 days and you go 15 minutes, then perhaps 30 minutes. That is how you go. But if you go 1 hour at a stretch, chances are you get so tired, your muscles will become so sore that following day you say, oh, well, I'm not interested. Oh, I'll go tomorrow. I'll go tomorrow. And you may never go again. So we should keep that in mind. Start slowly. Start slowly before you burst with so much activity. And you can do more than the 30 minutes in a day. If your strength or if your physical fitness allows you. When you do that, you gain more strength, you gain more balance, you gain more in the immune function, and then you live healthy and better. Yeah, so if you have a chronic condition like diabetes, which when you do so much exercise uncontrolled, your blood sugar may go low and then you may fall into a coma or something, you have to speak to your doctor. If you have a heart disease, it doesn't mean you cannot engage in physical activity, but you have to contact your doctor so that they prescribe the kind of exercise and how often and how long you should do it. You should by all means move, but we should tailor whichever exercise that you perform to your ability to tolerate it. We wouldn't push you too much like a 20-something-year-old person. We have to do it in context to the situation that you find yourself in. But whatever situation that you find yourself in, you've got to exercise. So again, life begins at retirement. We have to move and enjoy our retirement. Whatever it is, stay active and healthy. You can do the treadmill if you want. Definitely you don't want to do this one. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Doc. We very much appreciate your presentation. As was said earlier, that presentation was done by Dr. Madison Adanusa of the Geriatric Clinic at the University of Cape Coast Hospital. Thank you very much for your presentation. We would like to begin our question and answers now. So for those of you who have shared questions with us, we'll be talking to the presenters on the various questions that you have shared in order that they can respond to these questions of yours. I'd like to begin with Mr. Emmanuel Intre, and then we will come to Mimi afterwards. So, Emmanuel, you spoke a bit about assessing your benefits. Can you kindly highlight how long this process would take? And if you can rush through quickly what the procedure is, especially for your Tier 2 and Tier 3 pension benefits, and how long this duration is.
Thank you very much, Jeff, for your question. Now, for Tier 2 and Tier 3, we basically have two schemes. That's the Master Trust Scheme and the Standalone Scheme. If you are part of the Master Trust Scheme, processing period is 5 working days. And if you are part of the Standalone, processing period is within 30 working days. Now, if you want to commence the application, you have to contact your designated employer rep. You complete the redemption form. Then you also provide active bank account details that bears your name. Now, the employer rep also endorse the form, send the form to Axis Axis will vet, process, and then advise the custody bank to make payment into your account. So this is basically the process. So the commencement of the application starts from your employer. So make sure, prior to your retirement, you engage your employer, complete the necessary document, then Axis receives, processes, then payment can be done to you. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that insight. I think the next question is directed to Mimi. And so, Mimi, if you don't mind, I'll read out the question so you can answer it. And the question is coming from Mr. Albert Nutepe. Mr. Albert Nutepe is asking, can my lump sum from SNET be transferred or set up as the Axis Retirement Annuity Plan? Is it possible to transfer your SNET lump sum or even your Tier 2 lump sum into the annuity plan?
Thank you very much for the question. So yes, you can transfer the lump sum you receive from SNET or your Tier 2 into the annuity, the Axis Retirement Annuity Plan. So as long as it meets the minimum of 50,000, it could be your personal savings, it could be from any source. You are good to go.
Okay. We also have another question for you, Mimi, and it has to do with, can I do the pension plan, I think the Axis pension plan, alongside the wealth creation plan? Is that also a possibility?
Okay. So the Axis pension plan is something that you can do. It's for everybody. So even if you already have a personal pension plan or another investment anywhere else, you can still do the personal pension plan. That becomes another source of retirement income for you when you retire. So that is possible.
Okay, and I think one of the key things that you mentioned earlier is that people should not just deplete their lump sums once they receive it, but they should rather transfer it into the annuity so that they can benefit from it. I believe that is
exactly. That's what I said. I mentioned that lump sums are not to be spent as they came, as lump sums, but they are supposed to be invested so that you can get some income from it. And with the Axis Retirement Annuity Plan, you are able to draw a regular income from your lump sum as well as roll your lump sum. That's if you want to. If that is what you want to do, we can help you do that.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mimi. I think that will be all the questions for you. The other question I wanted to ask has to go to Mr. Sesi. So if Mr. Sesi is around, I'll be happy to have him in order that I'm able to find out from him as him being a retiree and advice that he also would want to do. Mr. Sesi, thank you for joining us again.
Thank you.
And I remember you said a few things which I find very interesting. The first one is that you don't go to your office if you don't have an appointment. And the next one is that you should watch what you consume as well. But my question to you, Mr. Sesi, is that how about social activities, funerals, weddings, naming ceremonies, and the like? Is this something that you would encourage that retirees participate in?
I would say no, but I can say yes. But where so far families are concerned, funerals, you cannot avoid it. Almost you have to attend funerals, but to a certain level. But not all funerals. Every weekend funeral, you'll be tired. You'll be tired. You really get time to rest. You have to attend funerals, you have to take care. Especially when we go to what we call when people go there, they drink to a certain level that even they can't recover. At times, begin the soil they address it. This is very bad.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Sesi, for that advice as well. So I guess we just have to be selective on which funeral or which wedding or which naming ceremony we go as we watch our diet and the rest. Thank you very much for your time. The last question maybe I would ask is would go to Doug. Doug, if you are with us still, if you can come up so we find out from you. apart from the exercises that you encourage us to do, does being part of social gatherings also help in terms of your psyche? Being part of maybe old students association meetings, being part of funerals, your nephew is going on graduation and stuff like that. Does it also help with your general well-being as a retiree? Sorry, I think you have to activate your mic.
All right. Yes. So being socially active is one way of living healthy. I am a family physician, and one of the things we take into account when we are looking at the human being is this. We look at the physical aspect, we look at the psychological aspect, and then also we look at the social aspect. Going for funerals, naming ceremonies, and the other things, they help our psyche. They are social events that help us to know that, oh, I am also cherished. I am also somebody's grandfather. I am also somebody's uncle who gives me a lot of respect. Yes, so those are important. But in the era in which we are, we have to control it. If it is not too close to you, you may have to avoid it. That is because of the COVID, for now, because of the COVID. But generally, it is good to engage yourself in such activities, including church activities. And bringing COVID into it right now, please let us observe all the safety protocols with our masks, with our hand washing and hand sanitizing, and our social distancing, because the elderly people are at even a higher risk. But aside that, we have to participate in social engagement. It is one sure way of keeping us healthy in the mind and emotionally. Thank you.
Seminar. It was very, very exciting, and we are happy that you were able to join us throughout this seminar. We hope that you learned a lot. We have had presentations on the procedures and processes for assessing your pension benefits. We have had a presentation also on what to do when you go on retirement and what to expect when you go on retirement. We have been privileged to be joined all the way from the University of Cape Coast Hospital by Dr. Adanusa to teach us or to take us through physical exercises and also social involvements to help with our lives as retirees. We are very happy again that you were able to join us, and we are indeed grateful. And we look forward to an exciting retirement once you go on your journey. At this point in time, we would like to invite our colleague to give us a closing prayer, even as we end our 2020 pension and pre-retirement seminar. I would invite Mr. Ernest Atima to give us the closing remarks and the prayer as well. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Jeff. And good morning to all of you. I'd like to thank everyone who joined us today for our second pre-retirement seminar. We are very grateful. And for the speakers, we say thank you very much for giving us very insightful information during this year's pre-retirement seminar. We trust that we've all gained enough knowledge and insight to lead us into the years ahead. And for our fathers and mothers who will be due for retirement in the next year and the years ahead, Axis is always available to assist you and to provide you with the necessary guidance as you take this important step in your life. We believe that your retirement will indeed be an enjoyable one. Thank you very much, and God bless all of you. Shall we take the closing prayer? Our Father in heaven, we are most grateful for today. We thank you for this session. We are grateful for being with us from beginning till now. We believe that everything that we have learned here will help us as we prepare towards our retirement. We continue to ask for safety and protection even in these times. Let your grace continue to abound over our lives and in everything that we do. We thank you in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mr. Ernest Atema. And so we would like to say thank you all for joining us. We will see you again. If there are any questions, you can kindly reach on to us at the Axis online pages and also call us on our telephone numbers. Before we close the meeting, we will share a link in the chat area. A link has been shared in order that if you want to check your retirement stance with regards to a calculator, you can use the link which will take you to our Axis online, our Axis website, which allows you to also be able to check your own stance when it comes to your retirement preparation. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jeff Asmeni, and we are very grateful that you joined us. Do enjoy the rest of your day and the weekend, and we hope to see you another time. Happy retirement if you go. Bye.
Every time.